Okay, thanks, Walt. Okay, we have 18 voting members present and a quorum.
Thank you, Beverly, and thank you to the board members that are attending this morning. We appreciate having a quorum. We'll start with the approval of minutes. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to the minutes of the July 13 board meeting? I'll assume, seeing none, that we can accept a motion to approve the board minutes.
So moved.
Who moved, please? I'm sorry, who moved the motion? Could you please identify yourself and then the second person? Thank you.
Freeholder Kelly, Ocean County.
And Freeholder Candy from Middlesex. Yeah.
Thank you both. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Do we have any opposed? Anyone who has to abstain? All right, thank you. The minutes are approved. I'd like to take this opportunity to present my report. And again, thank you for joining us today. I want to especially thank Angel Estrada for joining us today. For those of you who don't know, Angel retired from Union County Freeholder Board and our board at the end of last month. We'll all have more to say about Angel in a little bit. I'd also like to take a moment to welcome Union County's freeholder, Betty Jane Kowalski, who has been the county's alternate board member for many years. So welcome, Betty Jane. While we only have an item in agenda, the board and the NJTPA staff have been quite busy in recent months, getting a lot done while working remotely. Last week, the NJTPA hosted a virtual meeting of the Metropolitan Area Planning Forum's multi-state freight working group. The MEP Forum, as it's better known, brings together 10 metropolitan planning organizations from New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. This virtual workshop focused on truck parking, an important issue affecting the larger region. It featured private and public sector panel discussions, as well as an overview of emergency truck parking that was implemented during the pandemic. On the topic of freight, I'd also be pleased to participate in the New York Shipping Association event last month to announce the findings of the 2020 report on the economic value of the New York, New Jersey port industry. The NJTPA conducted the economic analysis and compiled this report. As you know, the port plays a crucial role in supporting our regional economy, making it vital to our planning work. It's supported by more than 500,000 jobs in our region last year. At the last meeting, I highlighted several projects that were wrapping up as the 2020 fiscal year ended. Today, I'm happy to report on several new studies that are underway. Local programs kicked off 5 concept development studies: the Oradell Avenue Bridge in Bergen County, the Old Bridge, Matawan Road Bridge in Middlesex and Monmouth counties, the Corliss Avenue Bridge in Monmouth County, the Great Road Bridge in Somerset County, and the East Main Street Bridge in my home county of Morris. I'm also pleased to inform that the board that the consultants have been selected and are actively working on 5 sub-regional studies. Those include Hudson County Ferry Service Expansion Study, the Monmouth County Tourism and Event Travel Demand Management Study, the Somerset County Roadway Corridor Safety Analysis Study, the Union County Truck Mobility Study, and the Warren County Transportation Plan. Two other sub-regional studies, the Passaic County Bicycle Master Plan and the Jersey City Alternative Transportation Modes Assessments, also recently kicked off. Passaic County and Jersey City will be issuing requests for proposals for those studies. Lastly, I wanted to remind you that the transaction conference is being held virtually this month. The NJTPA is organizing panels on road safety audits, goods movements, and freight planning at the NJTPA, and a virtual public engagement. You'll also be able to visit the NJTPA's virtual exhibit booth on October 20th. I'm looking forward to participating in the Transactions Conference and hope many of you will be able to join us. That concludes my remarks, and thank you. NJDOT, do you have any remarks for this morning?
Good morning. Thank you. Yeah, I just had a couple things I wanted to touch on quickly. First point worth noting is NJDOT received an additional $150 million in obligation limitations through FHWA's August redistribution. What that means is this will result in additional $150 million worth of federally funded work being obligated this federal fiscal year, which otherwise would not have been obligated. Next, there's an agenda item on here regarding Bridge S32. I'm kind of getting ahead of things here, but I would like to commend NJTPA and Monmouth County for the work that they've done in advancing the S32 bridge project in spite of all the challenges placed in front of them related to COVID. It's a fairly significant accomplishment in advancing that project. And then lastly, I just want to note that that Transportation Commissioner Gutierrez Scacchetti will be testifying at today's Assembly budget hearings for transportation later this afternoon. That's it for DOT.
Thank you, and thank you for pointing out that the remarkable job that our staff at the NJTPA has been doing to continue keeping us moving forward. New Jersey Transit, do you have anything this morning?
Hi, good morning, Freeholder. First of all, this is Jeremy Colangelo. Just like to extend my congratulations to Freeholder Estrada and look forward to more information around that. Obviously, COVID has been a challenging time for us. We've continued, obviously, to provide service. Essentially, right now, we are at full levels of service across all our modes. We are continuing to monitor ridership. The different markets are returning in very different ways, and we're keeping close tabs on that as well. Our financial situation at this point, is at a place where we are looking to next fiscal year to sort of plan for support for continued operations in next fiscal year. So that's basically starting next summer. And as well, our president and CEO will also be testifying this afternoon in Trent. So that's just a couple of quick updates from me. Thanks very much.
Thank you. And next we have our executive director's report. So Mary, would you like to start now? And welcome this morning.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. And once again, we head into the fall with ahead of us. But of course, this will be a fall unlike any other. And as the chair noted, despite the challenges, we continue to fulfill our responsibilities and make progress in many areas. September marks the beginning of an extensive public outreach campaign for Plan 2050, Transportation, People, Opportunity, the latest update of our long-range transportation plan. As you know, the new plan must be approved by the board next fall, and hopefully under much different and more favorable circumstances. As part of this outreach process, we are committed to hearing from the many voices in our region. With that goal in mind, we worked with our consultants to put together an outreach advisory group an outreach advisory committee comprised of organizations that represent our region's diverse population. This group met last month and provided valuable input on our outreach plans, including suggestions for making our initial survey more accessible to the visually impaired, as well as to limited English-speaking residents. That survey will be posted shortly on the NJTPA website. It takes just a few minutes to complete, and we encourage you to not only take the survey, but also share it widely. We're also gearing up for a series of exciting Plan 2050 virtual outreach events. Shortly, you'll be receiving notice about 6 virtual public meetings, including one in Spanish, which will be held at the end of this month and into the first week of October. These will allow the public to learn about the plan and to provide input. We are also hosting a Plan 2050 symposium on October 6th, focusing on adapting to change, a topic that certainly now is more important than ever. 2 more symposia will follow in the months to come. Along with these and other events, you'll be seeing extensive social media messaging, including short videos. We hope you can help us get the word out and get our residents thinking about transportation, people, and opportunity. One of the areas that the plan update focuses on, as the board has already discussed, is encouraging greater equity in the region, focusing on the needs of minority, low-income, and other traditionally underserved communities. This reflects the growing call to action to address the impacts of racial inequality across the nation. As I've discussed previously, our efforts are guided by our Title VI implementation plan. We are working to update this plan, which the board adopted a year ago, to incorporate feedback from the Federal Highway Administration and the Federal Transit Administration. The board can expect to see a revised Title VI plan before the end of this calendar year. We also recently distributed guidelines to our subregions to encourage inclusive public involvement in their work. As recipients of federal funding, we must all comply with the various civil rights statutes, executive orders, and regulations that work to ensure that everyone is included in the planning process. Turning to other matters, we are making progress in other key programs. NJTPA has reviewed 14 proposals for the Transportation Clean Air Measures, or TCAM, program using CMAQ funding. The proposals, totaling more than $17 million in requests, includes ITS signal upgrades, trail projects, electric vehicle charging stations, vehicle idle reduction, and more. In addition, NJTPA and NJ Transit staff reviewed 7 proposals totaling $3.35 million for the Local Mobility Initiatives program, which provides support for transit shuttles and related activities. NJTPA will finalize and recommend funding awards for both programs to NJTPA's Board of Trustees at its November 9th board meeting. We're also in the process of selecting a new set of sub-regional studies. The solicitation for the fiscal year 2022-23 cycle was released in June, and full proposals were received by September 4th. The response this year has been very strong, making the program extremely competitive this time around. The Proposal Selection Committee, which includes representatives of NJDOT, NJ Transit, RTAC, and central staff, will score the proposals and conduct interviews. The successful proposals will be included in next year's Unified Planning Work Program. And speaking of the next work program, I should note that work on it is about to commence. The program details the planning tasks that central staff, the subregions, and TMAs will perform beginning July 1 of 2021. I encourage you to start thinking about new directions and new initiatives for fiscal year 2022 now. Finally, I wanted to mention another grant opportunity, the Transportation Alternatives Set-Aside Program. We work with NJDOT on this program to fund community-based, non-traditional transportation projects, such as on and off-road bicycle and pedestrian facilities, scenic overlooks, preservation and rehabilitation of historic transportation facilities, environmental mitigation related to highway runoff, and many other topics. The grant criteria were expanded this year to factor in projects that provide additional benefits to vulnerable populations, including low-income residents, minorities, those with limited English proficiency, persons with disabilities, children, and older adults. Applications are due by November 24th, and informational meetings are being held on September 17th and September 30th. More information on this program is available on our website. In all these programs, we work closely with our subregions and partner agencies, and the cooperation pays off in terms of targeting funding towards the most important needs and issues. Thank you all for your continuing cooperation. A closing reminder, please keep your eye out for the notice of the upcoming Plan 2050 outreach meetings and the October 6th symposium, and please help us to spread the word about ways that the public can get involved. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mary. I'll call on Freeholder John Bartlett, Chair of the Project Prioritization Committee, to give the committee report. John, good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, and good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to report on the activities of the Project Prioritization Committee. At the joint committee meeting held in August, the committee considered 3 action items. First was approval of the initial financial plan for the replacement of Bridge S32 on Monmouth County Road 520, also known as Rumson Road, over the Shrewsbury River. Federal regulations require that projects with a total cost between $100 million and $500 million have a financial plan in place. This plan must cover various elements such as cost estimates, implementation plans, financing, revenue, cash flow, and public-private partnerships. The Project Prioritization Committee will be asked to approve annual updates to this financial plan over the course of this $116 million local project, which will replace the bridge with a new adjacent parallel structure. The 5-stage construction project begins in February and is expected to conclude in October 2024. You may recall at the May board meeting, we approved a minor amendment adding $31 million in federal funds to the construction phase. NJTPA staff assisted the Monmouth County Engineering Department in preparing the financial plan. This is the single action item on today's agenda. Next, the committee considered a set of modifications requested by NJDOT for funding revisions to 5 projects in the current Transportation Improvement Program, or TIP. Federal funds are available for these increases from previous project and program releases. The modifications are as follows. First, ADA Central Contract 2 project in Middlesex, Monmouth, and Somerset counties. This contract will bring projects into compliance with current Americans with Disabilities Act design requirements. The right-of-way phase of this project is ahead of schedule and needs increased funding in fiscal year 2020. This modification will advance $1.3 million from fiscal 2021 to 2020 and add an additional $6.3 million for a total of $7.6 million. Second, Route 29 Alexaquin Creek Road to Washington Street project in Hunterdon County. This modification will increase federal funds by $1.2 million for preliminary engineering due to an updated cost estimate for the fiscal year 2020 authorization, bringing the total for 2020 to $2.5 million. Third, the Route 71 bridge over NJ Transit North Jersey Coast Line project in Monmouth County. This modification will increase funds needed for preliminary engineering by $1.25 million for a total of $2.25 million in fiscal year 2020 due to an updated cost estimate. Fourth, the Route 80, Route 15 interchange project in Morris County. This modification will increase funds for the design in fiscal year 2020 by $7.5 million due to an advanced construction contract for the replacement of the Route 15 northbound bridge over the former Mount Hope Mineral Railroad. This increase brings the total to $14 million. Fifth, Route 206 Doctors Way to Valley Road project in Somerset County. This modification will increase funds for the construction by $12.25 million for a total of $61 million due to an updated cost estimate. The increases are project refinements developed during final design. They deal with and include duration of construction, additional utility work, stormwater management, and landscaping. The committee also considered a modification to the current TIP to add $23.2 million to the restriping program and line reflectivity management system, bringing total funding for the program to $43.2 million. This program funds the application of long-life pavement markings and raised pavement markers to the state highway system. This amount includes $21.5 million in new long-life pavement work to be authorized in August of this year, and $1.7 million for the balance outstanding for previous work. The committee approved all these modifications and no further action is required. That concludes the Project Prioritization Committee report.
Thank you, Freeholder Bartlett. The committee's been quite busy. In the interest of simplifying the board action for the item we need to vote on, the approval of the initial financial plan for the replacement of Bridge S32 on County Road 520. In the interest of simplifying, I understand that Terry from Monmouth County would like to move this item.
Yeah, this is Terry O'Connor. Yes, please.
Thank you, Terry. And I'm looking for someone who would like to second that item.
Second, Tom Gravick, Sussex County.
Thank you very much. Any comments from the board members? Do we have any comments from members of the public on this item?
Nothing in the chat box, Freeholder.
Thank you. Let's give a moment to see if anybody wants to speak up about comments for this project.
This is Tim Sevener.
Go ahead.
Please
identify yourself and where you're from or associated with.
Oh, yeah, I'm the New Jersey Association of Rail Passengers. Is this bridge including better bike and pedestrian access?
In relation to the item that we're voting on. Because we will have another public portion.
Oh, okay. Well, is it including additional pedestrian bike access? I think so. Right?
Okay, go ahead, make your statement. We'll listen.
Okay.
I'm hearing Tim, but he's asking if this project includes additional pedestrian and bicycle facilities.
I'm sorry, Melissa, I had trouble hearing you. Could you just speak up a little louder?
Yeah, no, I was just saying that Tim Severn's question was whether this project has additional bicycle and pedestrian facilities. Some background noise, sorry. I'll make that person.
Madam Chair, if you like, this is Terry from Monmouth County. The answer to that question is yes.
Thank you. Are there any other questions, or Tim, did you have something else to say?
No, that was it. I thought it when I read it, I thought it meant there was extra bicycle and pedestrian access, which is good. And plus a connection to a path. Okay, thank you. That's it.
Thank you, and thank you, Terry, for commenting. With that, we'll close to the public, and Beverly, will you please do a roll call?
Hudson,
Yes.
Hunterdon,
Yes.
Jersey City,
Yes.
Middlesex,
Yes.
Monmouth,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Newark,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Passaic,
Yes.
Somerset,
Somerset,
Yes.
Sussex,
Yes.
Union,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Governor's Office,
Yes.
NJDOT,
Yes.
NJ Transit,
Yes.
Port Authority,
Yes.
Citizens Representative.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thank you, Beverly. And now I'll call on Freeholder John Kelly, Chair of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, to give the committee report. And good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Chairman. I am very embarrassed, but I'm not in my office and would ask the Executive Director to give that report for me. I don't have my report in front of me.
Okay, Mary, do you have John's report there, or perhaps David does?
I'd be happy to read it. I would just humbly request that maybe we do the Freight Initiatives Committee. And then, because I do have access to it, it'll just take me a moment to call it up and I don't want to keep people waiting.
I apologize.
Is that okay with the chair and with Freeholder Kenny?
Yes, thank you, Dave. We'll give you a few minutes.
Be right back with it. Thank you.
We will call on Freeholder Charles Kenny, Chair of the Freight Initiatives Committee, to give his report right now. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, Madam Chair, and good morning to everybody. I hope everybody's doing well and staying safe. Before I start my report, I just want to thank Freeholder Estrada for his, when I started on the board, he was the vice chair, and he was very welcoming and helped out greatly in the transition to the board. And so I'm sorry to see him go, but I just want to say thank you for what you did for me over the last couple of years and helping guide me through the NJTPA and how it works. So congratulations and thank you. My report. I am pleased to report on August 17th Freight Initiatives Committee meeting, which focused on efforts to analyze and better understand key supply chains, which have been particularly important supporting our region during the pandemic. First, NJTPA staff announced completion of the freight industry level forecast to the year 2050 and noted that the forecasts are already being put to good use by the subregions. Chris Lamb of Cambridge Systematics, the study consultant, then discussed the forecast and related products, including a new freight forecasting tool, a regional freight profile that highlights the region's economic and freight data from 2020 to 2050. 15 sub-regional freight profiles, one for each NJTPA subregion, and 12 regional top commodity bundle profiles. The profiles and study and final report are available on the NJTPA website. Next, we were joined by Chandra Bonzi from the Federal Highway Administration Office of Freight Management and Operations. Ms. Bonzi introduced a mapping and visualization tool developed under the FHWA Freight Fluidity Program to enable users to access supply chain performance and identify critical flows, connections, and opportunities for improvement. As an example, she showed how the tool could be used to track the reliability of a specific trip at 5 delivery stages from port to retail. The tool uses supply chain data from 30 major U.S. companies across a spectrum of industries and sectors and locations. NJTPA previously hosted one of the regional workshops held by the FHWA as part of the Fluidity Program. One final presenter was Benjamin Rudell from Northern Arizona University, who introduced the committee to the Fusion, an online tool that planners and communities can use to visualize local supply chains. Mr. Rudell noted that the tool has been used as part of the FEMA disaster simulation and planning. The tool incorporates national data to shed light on supply chain dynamics. In his presentation, he used Middlesex County as an example to demonstrate the availability of county-level supply chain information in the tool. In addition, at the meeting, the committee members provided brief updates on the freight-related activities. These include NJDOT is now accepting grant applications for Rail Freight Assistance Program. Grand Hudson crossing traffic has rebounded, with truck volumes being the most resilient component of that traffic. Morris County's High Bridge Railroad Branch Rehabilitation Project, funded through the Rail Freight Assistance Program, has been completed, and Sussex County is seeing renewed interest in warehousing projects as the state continues to reopen. The only other thing that I'd just like to add to this report is I also was able to attend the truck parking forum that was held last week. I just want to thank everybody for putting it together. I didn't know when it started. When I saw that it was going to be 5 hours long, I said, how much truck parking could we talk about? But the 5 hours went by very fast because the information was very useful and very informative. And I thank Ann and Jacob and everybody for putting it together. And I know it was just the start of a conversation to see how we can address the problem of truck parking along major highways. And that concludes my freight initiative report. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And if Dave Behrens is prepared to read the Planning and Economic Development Report, Dave is our Deputy Executive Director.
Yep, I'm good to go. You can all hear me, right?
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, so on behalf of Freeholder Kelly, I'll read the report. Thank you. I'm pleased to report on the activities of the Planning and Economic Development Committee. At the August joint meeting, the committee considered one action item: approval of the Henry Hudson Trail extension to the Matawan Aberdeen train station in Monmouth County. Endorsement of this project comes after New Jersey Transit requested a reallocation of approximately $940,000 of fiscal year 2010 unobligated CMAQ, or Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality funds, to support a paved mixed-use trail extension that would connect the Henry Hudson Trail to the train station. It is anticipated that the nearly half-mile trail connection will encourage improved bicycle and pedestrian access to the train station, which is one of the busiest on the North Jersey coastline. It would also facilitate transit access to the recreational trail. These CMAQ funds were originally allocated through the NJTPA's Local Mobility Initiatives Program, which is reviewed and endorsed by the Planning and Economic Development Committee. The committee approved New Jersey Transit's request, and no further action is required. Also at the meeting, central staff provided updates on recent activities, including Plan 2050 outreach and Title VI planning, as Mary previously mentioned. The committee was also informed that the Demarest Place Community Vision Plan for Hackensack in Bergen County has been completed with the assistance of the Voorhees Transportation Center as part of the Together North Jersey local technical program. The program provides technical assistance to municipalities, nonprofits, and community-based organizations. The vision plan, which is available on the Together North Jersey website, includes recommendations to transform Demarest Place, pedestrian walkway in the heart of downtown Hackensack, into an arts destination that reflects the character of the local community. And this is particularly relevant because a new solicitation for the technical assistance program is now underway. The application deadline for that is October 15th. This assistance is available for small-scale projects that can be completed in 3 to 5 months and that help advance the goals of the Together North Jersey plan. You can see further information about that on the Together North Jersey website. And that concludes the report of the Planning and Economic Development Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, for reading that on behalf of Freeholder John Kelly.
I thank you also.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. And next is our public participation part of the meeting, and we request to comment or ask questions in the chat box, or wait until we call upon you for comments from those that are on the telephone. Also, please remember to mute yourselves when you are not speaking. As a reminder, we advise members of the public that we have a 3-minute time limit on comments. We have some members of the public who have signed in to present comments today. Ted Ritter, can you please, good morning, call on them in the order that they signed up?
Definitely, Chair. Good morning. The first part, we have one person sign up in advance. That was Tim Severner. I believe he's on the call.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Tim.
Yeah, this is Tim Sevener, Sevener, from the Transit Village of Mount Tabor, board member of the Association of Rail Passengers. And I'd just like to bring your attention to something which really used to be important, electric rail. Patco is installing solar canopies on 4, ironically, New Jersey stations, which are going to provide 22 megawatts of solar power to help power the trains. We previously did a survey, the Don't Gas and Oil Land Coalition of the New Jersey Transit Grid, indicating that we could have 75 megawatts of solar power for the neck to Jersey Avenue, 40 megawatts for Hoboken to Maplewood, and 10 megawatts for HBLRT. So I really think in your long distance plan, one, you need to electrify, and second, very critical, is that we can have solar plus renewable backup power. A second issue is, in the last meeting you were talking about, which is very encouraging to us, we've been asking for this for years, to restore rail service on some existing rights of way, like to Sparta, to Lackawanna Cutoff, various places. So that's great, but also what we want, and the New Jersey Sierra Club has also agreed with this too. It's good that we have trails along some of these rights of way, that's fine, but we need rails with trails. We need to preserve the rail right of way. That's very important so that we can extend these lines. It only takes about 15 feet for a pedestrian bike trail. So there's plenty of room. When we scope these out, I walked a line that goes from and found that there was enough room for rails with trails. That's my remarks.
Thank you, Tim. Next we have Neil Weissman.
Hi, if you can hear me okay? Okay. Chairman DeFilippo, Director Amin, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I just posted the links to extend remarks in the chat. Everybody should be able to see them. A few years ago, near the end of a 100-mile bike ride, I pulled up next to a guy in an Escalade hybrid. We checked each other out, we made small talk, and then we went our separate ways. And when I got home, I did the math. The Escalade weighed 6,000 pounds. It had a 300 horsepower V8 plus battery power. It averaged 20 miles to the gallon and would consume 5 gallons of gas over 100 miles. My bike and I weighed 185, and while a Tour de France racer can sustain 1 horsepower, I can manage a fraction of that. I burn 34 calories per mile, or that's 912 miles per gallon. I would have consumed 0.2 gallons over that 100 miles. Now, as someone who gave up his car after college, I tried to imagine the rationale for purchasing a 3-ton hybrid, which is a pretty conflicted choice. You know, maybe the driver had been traumatized waiting on gas lines during Sandy and wanted a plan B, or maybe he promised his kids that his next car would help save the planet. Anyway, I was reminded of this by a recent article in The Guardian, which you have the link to, about how SUVs have surpassed trucks, aviation, and shipping to become the greatest source of greenhouse gas from transportation. They now comprise 40% of all car sales and have replaced sedans as the family car. A miracle of modern marketing, we now are accustomed to see ads of 6,000-pound shipping containers zipping through cities and dropping off occupants at work, school, coffee shops, and yoga classes. And the challenge this poses to urban planners is profound. Roads devour transportation budgets and monopolize land use. Los Angeles devotes an area larger than the island of Manhattan just for parking. Now, change will not come easy. Highways and crappy public transit is all that most Americans know, but it is not impossible. COVID-19 has precipitated an epidemic of walking, cycling, and al fresco dining. It has given us a glimpse of how livable urban centers can be if reclaimed tarmac is dedicated to walking and biking. Thank you all.
Thank you. Ted, do we have any other comments in the box?
No other comments, but we do want to go back to Executive Director Mary Amin for some quick comments.
Certainly. Mary, go ahead.
Thank you. I know this is probably not the appropriate part of the meeting, but it seemed to fit. I did want to take a moment to acknowledge that there are representatives from the planning groups in Federal Highway Administration and Federal Transit Administration today who are participating in our meetings. In our meeting, Sutapa from Federal Highway Administration, New Jersey Division Office, and Ray Tomzak from FTA are with us today, and we welcome their attendance, and we look forward to having greater FTA and FHWA participation at our board meetings in the future. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you and welcome as well. Do either one of you have any comments that you'd like to make?
No, I don't have any comments right now.
I don't have any comments as well.
All right, thank you. Didn't want to put you on the spot, but I certainly wanted to welcome your participation in the meeting. Ted, do we have, let's go to the phone if anybody would like to make comments. And I ask you to remember to state your name before speaking. So is there anybody on the telephone that would like to make a comment? Hearing none, I guess we don't have anyone today. Before I go into closing remarks here about Freeholder or Angel Estrada, I want to point out that we've had a very active participation. I'm noticing that we're close to about 80 people that are participating today, whether it's on the telephone or online through the GoTo meeting. We here at the NJTPA are finding that we are getting very good, excellent participation, even in our public meetings when we are seeking the public's input on many of the topics we talked about today. That's greatly appreciated, and I remind the board members that there were a number of things on our site that you can go back and look at, particularly taking that survey and sharing that with others to participate as well. But before we close, as I said, it's time to wish Angel Estrada, our former chair and a longtime Union County representative on our board. I wish Angel all the best in his retirement. We've prepared an electronic resolution that is on the screen now, acknowledging and thanking Angel for his dedicated service. This includes his work with partner agencies and subregions on freight and other issues, advocacy of improved pedestrian safety through Street Smart, strong support for improved equity, and much, much more. The resolution concludes, now therefore be it resolved that all members of the NJTPA's Board of Trustees and staff thank Freeholder Estrada for his dedication and tenure as the NJTPA board member and wish him well in his retirement. And I'd like to offer everyone to applaud. Before I ask Thank you. Before I ask if anybody else on the board would like to make a comment to Angel, I want to say that Angel, as so many of the people, other members of the board, have been nothing but completely gracious to bring in the newcomers, to help everybody get acclimated. Angel's always been by my side. And as the chair that was before me, Angel did an incredible job, and he really kept the board moving. And Angel, I wish you all the best in your retirement. You will be missed. There is a lot of knowledge there, and big shoes to fill, as I've said before. But I wish you so much happiness and rest and relaxation as you enter into the retirement stage of your life. And who knows, maybe we'll hear from you again in a different capacity. Does anyone else on the board wish to say something to Angel?
Madam Chair, if I might, Betty Jane Kowalski.
Certainly.
Thank you. I would like to thank Freeholder Estrada for his many years of public service to Union County, to the NJTPA and the state of New Jersey. For me personally, he's been a friend and a mentor, and professionally, his careful attention and intelligent analysis have brought valuable contributions to every issue he has addressed. So I would just like to say thank you, Freeholder Estrada. And for me and for Union County, we wish you all the best, both to you and your family, for your retirement. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Very well said, Betty. I know our executive director, Mary, would like to make some comments, but is there anyone else on the board who'd like to say something?
Madam Chairwoman, this is Jeremy Colangelo from New Jersey Transit. Just like to also just note the freeholder always treated us just at the staff level, with respect and integrity, and really appreciate that. Appreciate the time he spent as chair, and wish him all the best in retirement. Thanks.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to say something?
This is Mike Russo from New Jersey DOT. I also just want to thank him for his years of public service, for the assistance that he offered me personally and the help that he offered as chair of the board. I just want to wish you the best in your retirement and thank you for your many years of public service. Thank you.
Hi, this is Lauren LaRusso from the New Jersey Governor's Office. I too just want to echo that on. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I just wanted to also echo on behalf of the administration, my congratulations to Freeholder Estrada, and to also really thank him. When I first came on, he reached out, and it was a pleasure from the beginning to work with him. So thank you very much, and he will be missed.
Thank you, Lauren. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak on the board? Okay, with that, Mary, I apologize. I went to the board first, but I welcome to hear your comments to Angel as well.
Thank you so much. I want to personally thank Angel Estrada once again for his tireless contributions as a leader and a humanitarian and as a role model for everyone, especially those who had to work extra hard just to get a seat at the table. Angel, you have more than earned a happy and healthy and long retirement. Please know that you have made a lasting difference in the lives of many people. And you've changed our region's transportation and this organization in particular only for the better. So thank you again for your guidance and for your friendship. Best of luck.
Thank you, Mary. But last but not least, Angel, would you like to say anything?
Surely. I want to thank everyone who is in one way or another related to the NJTPA. Over the many years that I've served, either as a board member, as an alternate, and even as a chair, I always found individuals whose main goal was to make life easier for our residents. And that's something that's very critical. No matter where the difference lies in terms of political lines, when it came to the NJTPA, it was just about service to the communities that we serve. And that has always been something that I admired. I mean, even when we speak about the MAP Forum, which gives us a greater understanding not only of what's down the block, but what's all in our own regional areas. Because if we don't look at our problems from a regional point of view, then we're lost. And I tell you, I have enjoyed all the years of participation. I want to thank my colleagues, the freeholders of that board, who had the vision to keep me on this position. As you know, we're all appointed by the chairs of our boards, and therefore I want to thank all of them to have kept me on for many, many years. But I also want to thank each and every one of you, because you individually has helped me to understand the concept of how lease process can work and do work. And that's something that's very important. And I want to thank Mary Amin, who are our new executive director. When I say new, because I've had others while I was there. But in the same token, the professionals that make up this organization is tremendous. The individuals who play a role in terms of being a board member also is a wealth of knowledge and information. And to you all, thank you. I will always have you in my heart. You too, Kathy. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Angel. We all wish you the best and look forward to seeing you once in a while come to our board meetings when we are, well, you can do it virtually or when we get back into the office, which still remains undetermined when that will be. So time and place of our next meeting. Our next meeting for the NJTPA board will be held on November 9th at 10:30. Login details for that virtual meeting will be provided. And the staff is currently working on that agenda, and we hope to even have a guest speaker in November. With that, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
I'm sorry, somebody who moved it, please identify yourself.
I made the motion, Jack Kelly.
Thank you, Jack. And second was by?
Second, John Bartlett. Passaic.
And I'd like to apologize, but the train is going past my house as I speak, so you may have heard the train whistle. But it was so appropriate for the end of our meeting. It's literally driving right past me right now. In any event, thank you all for participating today. And we look forward to your attending our committee meetings next month and our board meeting on November 9th.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And with that, I'll let the whistle say goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.